Hey, how are you going with the course? Remember, life often is not easy. Generally, we're not handed the perfect environment in which to feel happiness. It's about feeling happy with what we have today. Sometimes life can be legitimately tough, really tough. Are we going to lose that day? Are we going to lose that moment? I believe that feeling happy has so much to do with practice, skill, our perspective, the way we choose to look at our life right now. Yesterday I was having a challenging day. I've had a rabbit that's recently died and we had to have a funeral for it. I had a daughter that's not happy with herself at the moment. I had 2 boys that were significantly bullied at school. And then I had a number of other issues. And at the end of the day, the house didn't look great and I was exhausted and I wanted a bit of me time. I didn't get me time till after 10 o'clock at night and I was exhausted and I just felt, gee, this is tough. And then I looked on the internet and I saw a story about a child that was sick and the parents and how they felt about that situation. And again, I realised, it was brought home to me, how lucky I am and how wonderful my life is. But often we just look at what is just before our face rather than looking at the bigger picture. And that is why I say it is practice. Our brains learn. Our brains are highly affected by pain. Pain is a primary motivator more than pleasure. Why? Why do our brains work that way? To keep us safe, so that we react to pain. Oh my goodness, I've got to run as an animal or I have to fight as an animal. So pain needs to be quick. But that's not a great scenario for feeling happy, because over the course of a day, we look back on that day and we remember the painful experience and the great experiences recede, because that helps us stay alive, to focus on danger. Doesn't help us feel happy. We have got to that part in the course, practicing your rituals. Now you know that rituals are so important to me. Are you keeping a journal, by the way? Every day? Are you meditating? How did your space decluttering go? Did you find it worked well? And how are you going with the other exercises? Remember, gently. I'm going to read to you again. This is chapter 4 about developing your rituals. I want you to really jump into the rituals. I found when I started them myself, I went through stages of thinking, there's no point, I don't get it. It takes practice and practice and practice, and sometimes the rituals don't work out, sometimes they do. But rituals underline, cement, help sustain our values and our sense of self. They bring relationships together, they help us grieve, they help us let go. They are absolutely vital. It's important that we're aware of what rituals support us and how they support us, what our values are, so that our rituals can highlight those values and reinforce that sense of self. Help us be in the moment. When we're in the moment, in a decluttered ambience, we are much more likely to feel happy. We have now reached the heart of this book. I'm excited because this is the part where you'll bring everything together that you've learned so far and begin to develop your own rituals for happiness. As we have discovered, a ritual is simply any repeated pattern of behaviour that has a clear meaning and is backed up by values and beliefs. Every ritual has a purpose, such as expressing gratitude, celebrating some success, appreciating a relationship, letting go of grief, or simply savouring the moment. A ritual also has a way of expressing this purpose, which involves the deliberate, thematic use of symbols, space and time. Rituals differ from habits and routines in that they are designed to enhance our sense of self or community and/or. They may also have additional cultural, religious or social significance. The rituals we develop reflect and reinforce our values. In this chapter, we will explore rituals and how they demonstrate our values and enhance our sense of self. There are so many affirming, rewarding and comforting rituals in my life that it's hard to know which one to talk about first. It's like I've been chosen. It's like I've been asked to choose a chocolate from a box of chocolates. In my day, I get up each morning. In the book, I write about getting up really early and exercising with my girlfriend. That time has passed. I now get up. I have the children's lunches ready the night before. The moment my feet hit the floor, I'm grateful and I sit in that gratitude and I experience it and I explore it and I tease it out. I have a number of rituals that I follow through each day, each week, each month, and they underline who I am. One of the most important rituals in my family's life is my children's commitment to completing their journal, our dinner time ritual when we sit together away from the TV, all electronics off, and we look into each other's eyes deeply and ask, how are you? How are you feeling? What is going on for you? We prepare the dinner generally together, not always, because sometimes life can be really hectic. We prepare the dinner together, we set the table together, and we rejoice and celebrate together. Saturday night, we generally have fish and chips around the table and we celebrate. We have ritual walks up the Dandenongs, the 1,000 Steps, which is a famous Kokoda memorial. We walk up there together. And what rituals do for my family is remind us of our sense of togetherness, remind us of being in the moment, remind us of how to engage, how to communicate. Rituals have so many benefits for me. I have rituals with my girlfriends. With Tara, I conduct a ritual where we light candles and we get together at least once a week, which is really lovely. What rituals do you have, and what rituals could you have in your life to help support the person that you are? Remember what rituals are about. They're about clearly underlying the values and the person you are. I'd like you to write down what rituals you have in your life at the moment. Just brainstorm, so I'm not going to say a particular number. Brainstorm rituals you have now that mean something to you. You may want to reflect on your life and remember childhood rituals like Christmas or something like that. I want you to write them down and reflect on how they gave you meaning. You might get into the garden once a week with your partner, friend, family and do the gardening and laugh and have a glass of wine at the end or orange juice or whatever it is. And if the ritual relates to time, has a particular purpose, underlines values, is sustainable and helps to bond, heal, process, develop a person, then it's meaningful. Have a think of what rituals you can add to your life, and I want you to write about them in your journal. Perhaps you can look at what rituals you can add in your relationship. And these rituals take work. They're not straightforward. They take work. Could you have a date night? And what would make that date night symbolic? I think an important element of rituals is that they need to be low cost. They need to not damage the environment, be low cost, and be fairly simple to implement. So simple symbols. What could you do on date night? What could you do at certain points in your children's life? What could you do in certain points in your life? If you're feeling lonely, what ritual could you have to help bring you out of that loneliness? What comforting ritual could you have? What ritual could you follow to help you remember and focus on the poverty stricken throughout the world? So firstly, I want you to brainstorm what rituals you've experienced in your life, what they've added to your life, and really notice what they've added to your life. Then look at what rituals you could implement. Be realistic. Don't go and pick 100 rituals. Pick 3 to 5 and implement them into your life and diarise about it. Remember, rituals rewrite our way of cognitive thinking. we can teach this brain to favour some feelings and move away from other feelings. It doesn't create a perfect world. It doesn't make you wake up every morning feeling amazing. It doesn't make it easier for me to look after 4 children. But my rituals of my cup of tea, my morning podcast, getting into my comfy slippers, candles, my life source meditation, my friendship with Tara, my friendship with others, my Christmas with my family, the funeral we had the other day for our pet bunny who died, that was really important. That was a effective way to help the children let go by honouring the life of that rabbit and honouring the place that rabbit had in our hearts. It helps you to grieve. So 2 pieces of homework. Go back through your life and look at what rituals you've experienced that you've enjoyed and create a set of rituals for you to do now that are low cost, efficient and easy to implement. Okay, in a nutshell, a ritual is a pattern of behaviour that has clear meaning and is backed up by values and beliefs. So it's not just a silly, nonsensical pattern of behaviour like habits can sometimes be. Every ritual has a purpose and a way of expressing that purpose using symbols, space and time. I use many rituals throughout my day to enhance my happiness and appreciation. Each of us experiences rituals differently, but it is always important to come back to the meaning behind our rituals. There are lots of examples of daily rituals you can try. Every ritual includes the essential elements of purpose, patterns of behaviour and thought, symbols, space, time, and repetition and dedication. You can also map out your rituals, which can help you get perspective of them. So have a map of what rituals you have through the year and why, seasonal rituals and the purpose behind rituals, how they help, in what parts or what times of life do you use particular rituals and why, and look down upon how they can change your way of feeling about yourself. Just think of the dinner. Always set the table. Always light a candle. I light my circle of friends. Always sit down and place the plate so that it appears attractive. When you engage with others or have others at the table, look at them. Turn the internet off. Listen to them. Be curious. Eat the food slowly. Experience the food. Eat your food slowly. Get into it. Get into the people. Honour the moment we have right now. And that's what rituals help us do. They help us honour the moment we have right now. I hope you've enjoyed this module. Do your homework. Keep up with the other homework. Write down how you feel. Perhaps you want to adapt parts of this course, and that's okay as well. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing really well. Step by step. Remember, this is a process. It is a learning experience developing over time. So learning, cognitive learning slowly. Happiness is not, voila, I'm happy. Let's squeeze every moment dry. What does every day have to offer us? Remember, we're more motivated by pain than pleasure. So we've got to take that pleasure and tease it out and minimize. I'm not saying don't look at the negative. You need to address it, but minimize it and maximize the positive. And that's what rituals can do for you. Speak to you in the next module.